There comes a point in life, especially after 60, when your body starts whispering things to you it never said before. A little stiffness in the knees when you get up, a foggier memory than you're used to, maybe even feeling more tired after a meal that used to leave you feeling full and satisfied. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just that your body, your gut, your cells, they're not as forgiving as they once were. And here's something most people don't talk about. A lot of that creeping discomfort isn't just age. It's what's on your plate. Now, I'm not here to take away your joy or make you fear food. I'm here to help you feel better, move easier, sleep deeper, and maybe, just maybe, add a few vibrant, active years to your life. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is knowing which foods are quietly doing you harm, especially after 60, when your metabolism shifts, your immune system becomes more sensitive, and your digestion needs a little extra kindness. So today, let's walk through the 6 foods you should never eat again. Not because someone on the internet said so, but because your future self deserves better. This is about freedom, energy, and feeling like yourself again, even as the candles on your birthday cake keep increasing. Let's start with one that sneaks into almost every pantry. Ultra-processed foods. Think crackers, sugary breakfast cereals, frozen meals that promise convenience but deliver confusion to your body. The reason they're so harmful isn't just the sugar or the salt, it's the chemical chaos. These foods are stripped of nutrients and pumped full of additives your body was never meant to digest. Over time, they inflame your gut, confuse your hunger hormones, and send your blood sugar on a roller coaster. And for someone over 60, that roller coaster gets harder to ride. I spoke with a gentleman recently, 72 years old, active, sharp. Used to love his snack crackers with lunch. But every afternoon, like clockwork, he'd crash. Energy gone. Nap required. He thought it was just age. Turned out it was the sneaky processed carbs spiking his blood sugar and leaving him drained. He swapped those crackers for a boiled egg and a handful of almonds. 2 weeks later, no more afternoon fog. That's not magic. It's just food doing what it's supposed to do. Now, the second food on our list may sound innocent, but it's a real troublemaker. Refined carbohydrates. White bread, pastries, bagels, pasta. The kind that melts in your mouth and leaves you craving more. These foods turn straight into sugar the moment they hit your system. And after 60, your body processes that sugar slower, leading to higher blood sugar levels, more fat around the belly, and even mood dips. You may have noticed it without realizing it. The morning toast that feels comforting at first but makes you hungry again an hour later. That's not lack of willpower. That's a blood sugar spike and crash. I once visited a friend who proudly told me he was eating light to stay fit, toast and jam for breakfast. But when we checked his blood sugar an hour later, it had skyrocketed. We made a small change, whole grain toast with peanut butter and sliced banana, and suddenly he felt fuller, longer, less snacking, more energy. You see, after 60, your body's asking for stability, for foods that don't light fires in your bloodstream but feed it steadily, calmly. And that brings me to the third culprit. Artificial sweeteners. I know, they sound like a clever choice. No sugar must be good, right? But here's the tricky part. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose may not have calories, but they can still trigger insulin spikes, confuse your gut bacteria, and increase cravings for more sugar. It's like tricking your body into thinking it's getting sweet, but then giving it nothing. And your body doesn't like being tricked. I met a woman at a community center last year who was drinking 5 diet sodas a day because she thought it was the healthier option. She wasn't losing weight, though. She was actually gaining. After switching to flavored water with mint and lemon and dropping the diet drinks, she not only started shedding pounds, her headaches disappeared too. Coincidence? Maybe. But the science behind gut health and sweetener disruption is growing stronger by the day. So here's the honest truth. It's not about being perfect or swearing off everything you love. It's about making small, thoughtful swaps that your 70, 80, or even 90-year-old self will thank you for. Because every bite you take is either adding to your energy or stealing from it. And trust me, at this stage in life, energy is gold. Now, these three foods we just talked about, ultra-processed meals, refined carbs, and artificial sweeteners, they're sneaky. They wear friendly labels. They smile at you from the grocery shelves, but deep down, they're not nourishing you. And once you understand how they quietly chip away at your strength, your clarity, your mobility, it becomes easier to say, no thanks. Now let's keep going, because once you start noticing how food makes you feel, it's hard to unsee it. And the next item might surprise you, because it's not a snack or sweet. It's something many of us grew up believing was healthy. Industrial seed oils. You'll see them everywhere. Vegetable oil, soybean oil, corn oil. They sound harmless, even plant-based, so they must be good, right? But here's the catch. These oils are often highly refined, processed at high temperatures, and stripped of any real nutritional value. What's worse, they're loaded with omega-6 fatty acids, which, when out of balance with omega-3s, can quietly stoke inflammation inside your body. And inflammation is no small thing. It's the fire behind so many age-related issues: joint pain, stiffness, memory fog, even heart disease. I remember one man in his mid-60s who told me his hands hurt every morning, so much so he struggled to open jars. He thought it was just arthritis coming with age. But when he took a closer look at his diet, guess what showed up in nearly every meal? Fried foods, salad dressings with soybean oil, packaged snacks fried in corn oil. When he swapped those out for olive oil, avocado oil, and a few nuts, that morning pain started fading. Not overnight, but steadily. Consistency matters. Let's be real. No one's saying you need to give up flavor. Just shift where it comes from. The good fats, like those in extra virgin olive oil, real butter in moderation, or a spoonful of ground flaxseed, can actually help your body fight inflammation, support your joints, and even protect your brain. And that brings us to something that hits a little closer to home for most of us: conventional meat and dairy. This one is tricky, because for many, meat and milk have been staples since childhood. But today, it's not about the meat itself. It's about how it's raised. Factory-farmed animals are often given hormones and antibiotics, and they're fed corn-based diets instead of grass or forage. What does that mean for you? You may be ingesting tiny traces of things your body doesn't want, and certainly doesn't need, especially in older age when your detox systems are working harder just to keep up. I once spoke with a retired nurse who swore by her morning eggs and bacon. Nothing wrong with that on the surface. But when she started paying attention to where her food came from, choosing organic eggs, pasture-raised meats, avoiding overly processed deli cuts, she noticed a remarkable change. Her digestion improved, her skin brightened, her cholesterol numbers even stabilized, all from switching how she sourced her protein. See, after 60, it's not just what you eat. It's how clean, natural, and close to the earth that food really is. Your body is working for you every day, detoxing, repairing, rebuilding. But if we keep feeding it ingredients that confuse or clog it up, eventually that effort shows up as fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, or mystery aches and pains that just won't go away. And I want to pause here and say, this isn't about guilt. This is about empowerment. Because sometimes when people hear they should stop eating certain foods, it can feel like a punishment. But I want you to see it as a gift. You've made it this far. You've survived, grown, endured, raised families, worked hard. Now you deserve a body that supports you back. You deserve clear energy, deep sleep, and the strength to keep doing what you love. Whether that's gardening, walking with your grandkids, or dancing a little in your kitchen when your favorite song comes on. So, just imagine, if a few small changes in the kitchen could give you more years of that joy, would it be worth it? Because food isn't just food. It's information. Every bite tells your body something. Turn on inflammation, turn it off. Store fat, burn fat, be sluggish, be strong. And after 60, the margin for error is smaller, but the rewards for getting it right? Oh, they're sweeter than ever. We've already talked about processed foods, refined carbs, artificial sweeteners, seed oils, and conventionally raised meats and dairy. And there's one more food on our list, one that often gets overlooked, yet plays a massive role in how well you sleep, how clear you think, and how rested you feel each morning. Now let's talk about one more thing that often slips under the radar, something many enjoy late in the day without realizing it could be interfering with the very thing we all value more as we age: good, deep, uninterrupted sleep. I'm talking about caffeine and alcohol. You see, after 60, your body processes stimulants and sedatives differently than it did when you were 30 or 40. What used to be just a casual afternoon cup of coffee might now be robbing you of restful sleep, and that glass of wine you once used to unwind. It could now be the reason you wake up at 2 a.m., mind racing and body restless. Caffeine, especially, lingers longer in your system as you get older. Even a cup of coffee at noon can affect your sleep quality at night, not necessarily by keeping you awake, but by reducing the depth of your sleep. You may sleep, but you might not feel refreshed. And sleep is where healing happens. Your brain cleans itself, your muscles recover, your memory strengthens. So even a small shift, like switching to herbal tea after breakfast, can create a big difference in how alive you feel the next day. Now, alcohol is a tricky one, because it often feels relaxing, even social. But it's deceptive. It may help you fall asleep faster, but it fragments your sleep later. It interferes with REM sleep, messes with your core temperature, and increases trips to the bathroom. I remember a kind woman in her late 60s who used to enjoy a glass of wine every evening. Nothing excessive. But she told me she felt more and more tired during the day, and her memory just wasn't what it used to be. When she paused the wine for just 1 week, she was stunned. She woke up feeling sharper. Her sleep was deeper, and she finally felt well rested. Sometimes it's not what you add to your routine, it's what you take out that creates the most noticeable results. And again, this isn't about living like a monk. Life is meant to be enjoyed. But when you reach a certain age, joy takes a new form. It's the joy of waking up pain-free, the joy of remembering names, dates, and where you left your glasses, the joy of walking outside with energy, not effort. That kind of joy is built on small daily choices, and those choices often begin at the dinner table. Let's take a moment to reflect. You've learned that ultra-processed foods steal your energy and confuse your gut. Refined carbohydrates spike your blood sugar and wear you down. Artificial sweeteners may not have calories, but they bring chaos to your metabolism. Industrial seed oils? They feed inflammation instead of nourishing you. Factory-raised meats and dairy fill your body with hormones and residues that do more harm than good. And finally, caffeine and alcohol, when not kept in check, chip away at your precious rest, clarity, and healing time. But here's the beautiful part. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You don't need to throw everything out of your pantry today. Just start noticing. How do you feel after certain meals? How do you sleep when you skip the evening glass of wine? How's your mood on the days you eat clean, whole foods versus the days you indulge in processed ones? Awareness is powerful. Once you see the difference, you won't need willpower. You'll have desire. A natural pull toward what makes you feel good, strong, and alive. That's the secret. And it's not too late. In fact, for many people, their 60s and 70s become the most vibrant decades because they finally start listening to their bodies. You've made it through so much in life. You've weathered storms, carried others through theirs, and stood tall through change. This stage of your life, it's yours. Your wisdom, your years, your experience, they've earned you the right to feel good in your own skin every single day. So if today is the day you make a change, one small change, I'm cheering you on. If you're already on the path and just needed a reminder, then let this be it. You're doing something that matters. And if you're still figuring it out, that's okay too. Just keep showing up for yourself. Keep choosing you. And if this message spoke to you, if you learned something new or felt inspired, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What's one food you're thinking about changing or removing from your day? Let's start a conversation. And while you're here, hit that like button so more people like you can find this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more practical, uplifting guidance made just for you. Until next time, take care of yourself. Because no matter your age, your health is still your greatest wealth, and you deserve to enjoy it to the fullest.